Hello folks, Reverend Crystal Cox here with a follow-up on the Port Townsend police leaving a warning on my vehicle. So for those of you, I had posted what I sent to the Maritime Center officials and officials of the town and the police officer involved, the one who put the sticker on my car, and who I knew to be the chief of police, which was T. Suber at that time, I think, the email, which was the last chief of police, because I had talked to him before about masks and different things, so we already had an email dialect. Anyway, so I'd posted what I emailed all those folks, but I'm going to read it to you for those of you who haven't seen it. And again, you know, if you're watching my videos just to laugh at me or hate on me, I don't really care, okay? I send you love. I send you all peace and love. My intention of this is not about me. It's about raising the vibration of Mother Earth and her people. It's about calling out the rights of the homeless because I'm stronger than most homeless people. And I have really good investigative blogging skills, and I really do love Port Townsend, and I think that I'm in a stronger position to report on these issues and to call them out than most all other homeless people. I've been homeless in Port Townsend for 7 years. 7 years. It was in May of 2014 that I was evicted because the church that was paying for my rent stopped paying, and the landlord was not a nice guy. Anyway, long story there. So I'm going to read you what I sent them. And if you have any questions, email me at reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com. And if you hate on my posts and laugh on my posts or send me hate or whatever, I'll probably report on you. So many people just love to laugh at my videos. But yeah, if you want to hate on me, then I'll just report on you hating on me, and we'll just call it all peace and love after that. All right, so here's what I sent. Hello, my name is Reverend Crystal Cox. I have attached a parking warning that Officer G, which is Garen, Williams, badge 712, left on my vehicle today at 1:40 p.m. Today is May 20th, 2021. Okay. I am assuming that it is because a local business complained, as the Port Townsend police have told me before that they only harass or move along the homeless when the business owner asks. And as most all know, there is a person who sleeps... I'm not going to say that. Okay, so what are our rights, and are they different for each person individually? Last night at 11 p.m., I parked downtown by the Maritime Center, along with 2 Maritime Center vans who are there 24 hours a day. There are no signs at the location for 2-hour parking or 24-hour parking. This morning when I woke, as I do live in my car, I went out to breakfast and went shopping, and I spent $30 for lunch at Sirens when the warning was put on my car. The point to that is that I am spending money downtown and supporting the Port Townsend community. I spent approximately $70 shopping downtown Port Townsend today. I'm just as important as the tourists. I am a year-round financial supporter of this town and this community, this county. My vehicle is registered in Jefferson County. I am counted as a number in the city and in the county because I signed up for the census. Okay, therefore, part of the money that the county gets is based on me as a number. I have a business license for Reverend Crystal Cox in the city of Port Townsend. I have a nonprofit church I've had for 7 years. I am a resident of Jefferson County and Port Townsend and have been since 2012. And I had a real estate company here for the first 5 years, which I put inactive now. I specifically invoke the Homestead Act. There was a Ninth Circuit ruling within the last year that the city cannot impound my vehicle because it is my home per the Homestead Act. So there are certain things that they can do. They can fine you for it and put you on schedules and whatever, but they can't keep your vehicle or auction it off and stuff like that. Okay, here is a few links to that Ninth Circuit ruling. It is my understanding, and I say this respectfully, that you do not have a legal right to impound my vehicle and charge me to get my vehicle back. And you can check that out. It's Seattle. It was a city, Seattle versus Long, and the homeless person won, and then Seattle appealed it, and then it went to the Ninth Circuit, and the Ninth Circuit ruled in favor of the homeless person because that is their home. Okay, then I went on and said, if the Maritime Center owns the land where people park down there, then they can trespass me and press criminal charges. Maybe that's an option. However, if the Maritime Center does not own the land, then why do they have a right to have 2 vans bigger than mine down there 24 hours a day? One could say it is because it is outside their business, but they are taking up parking. So what is the actual rule? Is it just that because I live in my car, I'm not allowed to park down there? And I was only there 14 hours. I parked there at 11 p.m. last night and got the warning at 1:40 today. I need to know what the actual law is and what the Port Townsend police expect of me and others who are parking downtown, or if I am being discriminated against. There are vehicles that are parked downtown for more than 14 hours. They are staying at hotels. They are at the Maritime Center. They are Maritime Center vehicles. And so is it legal for them to park there, but not me? I was not even hanging out in my car. I was shopping, and I was at restaurants spending money downtown supporting our community. I may not get an answer to this email. However, I consider the sticker on my vehicle harassment because I was not there 24 hours and there are no signs that say I cannot be there, and I live in my vehicle and I have rights under the Homestead Act. Please advise me on my rights or if I am legally allowed to sleep downtown in my car or not? ? I have an income. I have the money to rent a place. There's nothing to rent, and there's an eviction moratorium. Is it illegal to park downtown around the Maritime Center for more than 14 hours? And is it illegal just for me or others? Because I have video proof that there were other cars around me there that whole time that did not get stickers. And then I attached the Ninth Circuit ruling for them. And I say, and please advise me all those involved in this email to the County Maritime Center in the city of Port Townsend. Am I legally allowed to sleep in my car overnight downtown Port Townsend? ? Or is this a crime? ? Sorry, I don't need to put question mark like I'm talking to question mark, explanation mark, period. Okay, inquiring minds. Okay, what are the rights of someone sleeping in their vehicle downtown Port Townsend? Because there are quite a few of us, I would like to know what my rights are. My vehicle was in that location for approximately 14 hours. It was not in a 2-hour spot, and there was no posting. And there are other vehicles that were there before me and after me. Clearly, this is a prejudice against me personally. I have pictures and videos of the other vehicles that were not targeted. So please let me know my rights. Reverend Crystal Cox, Goddess Church, Port Townsend. Okay, and I sent it to the chief of police. I sent it to the officer involved. I sent it to the mayor. I sent it to some other people. And I sent it to the people at the Maritime Center. Okay, so right away, pretty much absolutely right away, the new chief of police, Thomas Olson, messaged, and he sent an email to everybody that I had emailed, and including me. And he said, as soon as I get all the information from the call and reason for the warning, I will respond to Ms. Cox. Thank you. So he let the mayor and the Maritime Center and everybody know that he was going to follow up and that he was going to get me the information. So I teared up a little bit at that. Because, I'm a crier if you watch any of my videos. Because he messaged me back and he respected me. He didn't just ignore me and he didn't trash me. It's funny, I flashed on Dragnet or something. What was the line where it said, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts, ma'am. So that he's like, okay, I'm looking at this, and then go look at it, right? As the facts, no emotion, no like he said, she said drama, just, okay, here's the deal. Very impressed, very impressed. I think that so far, from what I've seen, you can be proud of your new chief of police, Thomas Olson. Okay, and so then I messaged him back and said, thank you so much for your respect, officer. I want to be in compliance. However, I do feel safer downtown, and I want to know what my rights are. I do not want to be a nuisance, and I do not feel that I am. I will wait for your response. Thank you for your respect, Reverend Crystal Cox. And then he said, see, some of them are getting kind of mixed up now, so I'll have to show them to you later. Basically, he just said he thanked me for my patience and best regards. He actually signed it best regards. And so I felt like a human being, right? Just because we live in a car does not mean we're not human. Okay, I'm very intelligent. I'm very accomplished. I've done amazing things with my life, and I have an incredible passion and gift for healing, psychic healing, energy healing, and I help improve people's lives every day. And for people to treat me how some do when they know or see I live in a car, it's ridiculous. Y'all pay taxes on your home. So many people don't own their home. So many people are a paycheck away from them. It's so much freer living in a car. You should try it sometime. And you should try examining why it is that you judge or dislike people that live in cars. But anyway, the image that Port Townsend wants to portray with their sticker sweep, and I'll talk about that in a moment, because they do it just to try to intimidate the homeless, but so they'll move on and be scared their car is going to take. But it's not actually within the law. And I like to say I'll talk on something later, but then I talk about it now, and then I forgot what I was talking about. So back to the story. Okay, so I forget the in-between, and it was on a different thread. But here's his response. So it says, I have looked into the call, and I'm going to stop through it and comment because, this is my ramble, and that's what I do. Okay. I have looked into the call that we received about your vehicle and why the officer took the action that he did. Now, keep in mind, the police have told me before in Port Townsend, they only rouse someone or have them move on or whatever when the business owners nearby complain. Okay? That's kind of how it's supposed to go. I think that's how this went, but I think the officer, he may or may not be protecting the business owners. But either way, I have a comment on it. So you will see my comments. Okay. At about 1:20 p.m., we received a call from a citizen that your vehicle had been parked in that location for approximately the past week. Okay. So any citizen in Port Townsend or tourist, somebody just passing through, can call the Port Townsend police, and they will pull up to your vehicle and put a sticker on it and defame you. And, it's obvious and a warning and a lie on my car. Okay. So just so you know that if it was a private citizen, so either he's protecting a business or it was a private citizen. So a private citizen has rights and I don't. And what does the cop do, right? Does he check the cameras? Does he ask people? Does he, run my plates and see my name? And my email's everywhere, right? Could have emailed me in 2 seconds. I mean, there's just ways where we didn't know. So some citizen can just make up whatever story they want, and the Port Townsend police will either tow your vehicle or threaten to tow your vehicle, okay? My vehicle had been in this spot at Maritime Center for a week, right? Y'all know that ain't true on this channel, right? Because you've seen my videos. You've seen my videos at my last days in my church. You've seen me moving out of my church. You've seen videos of me talking about healing people. You've seen a video of me at the drive-in. You've seen a video of me at Fort Worden and Fort Townsend, and all during this week, right? Plus, I was out of my church during the day. And someone flat out lied and said I'd been here a week. I hadn't even been here 14 hours. I had stayed the night, several nights. But I'd left in the morning and did my own thing. It was a flat out lie. So any citizen can say whatever they want about you, and the Port Townsend police will take their word for it over yours. Oh, they would take your word too if they could find you. But no, I was at Sirens eating lunch. This is me rolling my eyes. Oh, God. Okay, so then he says at about, 1:20, we received a call from a citizen that your vehicle had been parked in that location for approximately the past week. Wow, right? I didn't go to the store. I just sat here in my vehicle for a whole week. And the night before, I had been to people's houses doing healings, and they'd offered for me to stay, and I'm like, no, I gotta go, because I like my privacy. I love the waterfront. This is my home, okay? This is my home. So it's just a flat out lie that I was here like that. Anyway, okay. The officer arrived at about 1:30 at your vehicle and was unable to locate you. Right, because okay, yes, I live in my vehicle, but that doesn't mean I'm in here all the time, okay? I was at Sirens, but before that, writing on picnic tables, I was helping people move stuff, I was picking up some garbage down around the Cotton Building. I mean, I do stuff, right? Well, you weren't in there. Okay. It says, okay, so since you were not with your vehicle and there were signs that the vehicle had been slept in and not moved for a while, the officer did what I would expect him to do. He put a written warning. Okay. Well, first of all, I would not expect that. Okay. If I was the sergeant, I'd be like, I would never want, how cruel, right? To threaten someone's home. You see visual signs that they live in the vehicle, right? But you threaten to take their home? So first of all, how is that respectful? Okay. And so later he tells me in a law, I'll show you, it's not illegal to sleep in your vehicle. So they're basically admitting the officer prejudiced me because there were signs that I was sleeping in the vehicle. Even though that's not illegal, I was prejudiced over the other vehicles that had been here for several days and not moved. Okay. And so there were signs that the vehicle hadn't been moved in a while. Okay. I don't know what this is, right? My windows were clean. I just washed my windows the night before. Like I said, I got here late that night. I was at people's house. I mean, it's all just, and plus I load videos all the time everywhere I go. It's pretty obvious. So he says he would expect his officer to do that, but I wouldn't, right? I would look at some cameras, ask some people, maybe leave me a note and ask me, right? There was no proof that I was here 24 hours. And if there was, then somebody did some photoshopping. Okay. So he says that's what he would expect the officer to do. Well, I would expect the officer to do some investigation, right? Not hey, this car's been down there a long time. Why don't you be cruel and evil and mean and go and put a sticker on their car and threaten to take their home and get them all scared, trigger their post-traumatic stress, freak them out, scare them to death, right? Without doing any sort of investigation. Because it wasn't true. Okay, so now what are these signs that I hadn't moved in a week or a day or a while? Okay, well, downtown Port Townsend, number one, if you haven't moved in a week, 90% chance you'd have bird poop on your car, right? There's no leaves on my car. There's no bird poop. The windows are all shiny clean because I just washed them yesterday when I went to get gas, right? And video, right? My own video evidence, any sort of webcams around here. Tons of signs that I wasn't here 24 hours, all right? But whatever the officer saw, it says, well, there were signs that she was there more than 24 hours. What was the signs? Somebody lipping either the people that run the Maritime Center who he's protecting or some private citizen says, well, I believe that car's been there a long time. So I asked him, which he didn't answer this part, but could I do that? So I can just say, this car's been downtown. So like say, somebody pulls up right now and I call the police, say this car's been down here for 24 hours. Do they come put a sticker on it or do they prove it? And how do they prove it? Do they go, well, the people weren't with the vehicle? Of course they weren't. They're parked down here to, go get ice cream or go get shopping or go to the beach or whatever. Most people. So they're not going to be with their vehicle when you question them with their vehicle. So it makes no sense. So the officer saw signs that I hadn't moved the car in a while. Well, he's not a very good investigator, and I say that respectfully. I hope he's not investigating robberies or murders or any other crime. He can't even investigate whether a car has been somewhere for days, He can't, I mean, what is it? Some sort of a Barney Fife thing? Like, well, I'm not sure. That car has evidence of being there, well, more than 24 hours. Like, there was not one tiny little bit of evidence anywhere that this vehicle was there 24 hours. It wasn't. I got stuff to do, okay? I'm a busy girl. I was not here for 24 hours, okay? And it's funny, I had slept here over the last week a few times, but then yesterday was the only day that I left the vehicle in the morning for a few hours because I went shopping. And so basically what they do is usually around May or June, usually in May, and then again in September when they had Wooden Boat, they do a sweep of the homeless. But they don't make it look like that, right? So they put stickers on the vehicles just to give you a warning that, you ought to move along and to scare you. So you'll stay away from that area either for a while or all the time. But really, they can't legally tow it, especially down here. I mean, they can, but in a fight or a court battle, there's not one sign down here that says I can't park here. It doesn't say you can't camp here. It doesn't say you can't barbecue. I mean, some things obviously are common sense, but there is no signs down here. No 24-hour signs, no 2-hour signs. So if they towed my vehicle because I was here for longer than 24 hours, then that's just by Port Townsend law, which I'll read you that law in a minute, of 24 hours or whatever. But is this port property? Because if they're leasing the port, like where's the port property? So if I go on the other side of the bush here, then is that port property? So it's just interesting. But I don't even know where I left that off at. So, okay, so there were signs that your vehicle had been slept in and not moved for a while, and the officer did what I would expect him to do, which is put a written warning on the vehicle so the owner would be informed of the city's 24-hour parking ordinance. Okay, well, the 24-hour parking ordinance only applies to people that look like they live in a car, because the maritime vans are down here more than 24 hours, okay? The night guys sometimes more than 24 hours. There has been people that park in that electrical spot sometimes more than 24 hours, whether they went out on a boat or who knows. People go out on the boats and they're here more than 24 hours, okay? I've seen it many times, and now I'm going to be videoing it because it's just not true. If this 24-hour ordinance, it is selective, okay? Let me tell you. And I am not going to video the people sleeping in their cars. There's quite a few of them in town who may be in certain spots more than 24 hours, and I will not discuss them one bit. If they're going to harass the homeless, they can do that on their own. I'm going to expose the people that are the elite that are parking, that it's okay because they don't live in the car. So they're saying it's not illegal to park in the car, but you got to follow parking laws, okay? So I did, and they gave me a warning for violating a parking law that I didn't violate, and there's no proof that I violated it. So it was the word of somebody that works at the Maritime Center or a private citizen, and either way, what are the rights and who are they applied to, right? And these laws, who's the laws applies to, who's the law not applied to? And they make special exceptions for people who live downtown, right? So they park in spots for more than 24 hours because they live downtown. I live downtown too, okay? And they make special exceptions for it's not on the top of my head, but there's a lot of places, a lot of people who park downtown. It's very selective on when they enforce the 2-hour, when they don't, who you are, when they enforce this, when they enforce that. But this is kind of funny. Yes, yesterday I was sad a little bit here and there because just how people think. It is sad at the whole world society, but anyway, whatever. But it's kind of funny because it's so obvious what they're doing, right? They think I'm unsightly. They don't want tourists walking around and thinking there's homeless that park downtown in Port Townsend. And the ones that are in vans and different things where you can't see in, okay. But what they don't want is society's underbelly, which is people like me, to be seen by their precious rose glasses, okay? But, too fucking bad, okay? I exist. You aren't your house. You aren't your money, okay? I know death. I see visions every day. I see on the other side of the veil. I give psychic readings and healings, and I'm very accurate and very clear, and I help people every day. Okay, I am not about linear time and about all of these fake and phony things of earth and your little world of, living in houses and we matter and we're posh and this and that. And if we live in a car, we don't. No, we're all human beings here to raise our vibration, here to experience things. Okay, we're all conscious beings, and we all cross over, okay, as consciousness. You're no better than me, no matter what you think. And you can laugh, and you can roll your little eyes, and you can do whatever you want, okay? But I'm going to expose you, and I'm going to stand up for myself. Blah, 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 Crystal. Amen, sister, you preach it. Okay, so... Anyway, it's so funny where he's like that. I kind of just get that earlier. He's like, that's what I would have wanted him to do. Well, if I was the chief of police, I would have wanted the officer to maybe investigate a little bit, just a little bit, or maybe leave a sticker or just tape something to my window and say, here's this side, here's your accuser, okay, innocent until proven guilty. What's your side? We could have find you. Well, they can't find me. How are they going to solve a crime? Pretty easy to find. Okay. Oops. Got some sort of something on there. Okay. So, the city's 24-hour parking ordinance. Okay. I have provided that ordinance below. As a department, it would have been our preference to have contacted you at your vehicle. But that makes no sense because most people don't live in their cars, and so they're hanging out downtown, and they're not going to be at their vehicle to be questioned, okay? So it sounds like, too, you'll read further, they didn't know it was me, right? So you find a car, you're like, oh my gosh, those guys are nefarious. They've been there for a week, they're living in the car, there's signs of some sort of a I smell something fishy around here sort of deal. So they're not going to run my plates and see what my name is? Oh, we didn't know. We didn't know who you was. We didn't know where you was. We didn't know who you was. We didn't know nothing. Right, my driver's license, all of that stuff, my email, all of my contact information is connected to all of that, okay? They did not investigate very well. They just brought the hammer down on the homeless, okay? And that's fine, but this homeless person is going to give you her side of it. So that's the deal with that, okay? Now, alrighty then, since the officer did not recognize your vehicle, well, officers don't have to recognize them, kids. They got the magic machine. They point at it and it says, okay, that vehicle's been to Oregon and it's been to Arizona and it's been to Mars and it's got this and it's got that. They got all their gadgets, but at the very least, they can run my plates and know my name, okay? So he didn't recognize my vehicle. 7 years. Homeless in Port Townsend. 4 years in this particular vehicle, of which they have put a sticker on before. Okay, since the officer did not recognize your vehicle or know you in any way, it was impossible for him to attempt to locate you. Right, okay. Except for when you run my plates, my face, odds are my face comes up, right? Got me a driver's license. Got me one of them there passports, a driver's license, and my vehicle's registered in this county. I think he got my face. Okay, it was impossible for him to locate you. Oh, now we know why all the crimes in Port Townsend go unsolved. A little bit of Barney Fife going on, and I mean that respectively, officer. I'm just saying this is funny as all. Anyway, and I think this guy's a good guy. He was respectful and he's good. Okay, so because he couldn't locate me, then Barney Fife decides that the written warning was his only viable option. Wait. I think a different kind of warning would have been good. Like maybe instead of a big orange sticker threatening to take my home, you put a small sticker on the driver's side instead of some big visible, look at this freak here, and say, whoever you are, because we have no idea who you are, way of knowing. It's so, which is funny, right? So like if I take my car right now and go down and rob a bank, I bet they'd figure out my name real quick. Right? But to harass me, they're like, we had no way of locating you. We had no way of knowing who you were or what you were or whatever. Here's your clue. Run the plates. And I've had an FBI check within the last year. So check that out. From a real estate license, dude. So bring it. Jeez. Okay. As for sleeping in your vehicle, as long as the vehicle is legally parked and does not violate PTMC 10.04.200, there is no law or code that prohibits anyone from sleeping in their vehicle in downtown Port Townsend. So it was completely irrelevant, and you have to admit, harassing and discriminating for them to mention at all, well, it looked like you were living in the vehicle. Well, isn't that irrelevant if it's not illegal? If it doesn't violate the code to live in the vehicle, it just violated the code to be here for a week, then why did they even mention, well, you know, the officer used the fact that I live in my car against me to prejudice me against a different law, a law that they were making up I violated, but they were using a discrimination of it looked like she lived in the car, which isn't illegal, right? I'm pointing to the statute, right? So, hello. Yeah, you decide that one, you decide. Okay. 10.04.200, 24-hour parking. In the absence of other time limitations, it is unlawful for the owner or other person in possession of any vehicle to park or stand or cause or permit to be parked or stood such a vehicle on any street or public right-of-way in the city for a period of more than 24 consecutive hours, which would suck if you live downtown, right, or own a building downtown. I'd do a survey and make sure what's the town and what's yours. And provided that this section shall apply to city-owned off-street parking areas. Okay, so see, that's where we need to look into it. So down there by the Better Living in that flagship building, I think that's a private owner in there where they say two-hour parking. Down here by the Maritime Center, I don't know if this is port property or city property. It must be city property if the city's ticketing me, but maybe the city can ticket port property. Anyway, just things to ramble about, because this is Reverend Crystal Cox Ramble. And I'm assuming if you weren't interested in me rambling about this topic, you wouldn't be listening. But if you're here to hate me, I love you too. Okay. Right, and it says, I hope my response helps you better understand the actions of the Port Townsend Police Department and what your responsibilities are as a vehicle owner and user of the downtown parking stalls. Please do not hesitate to contact me in the future if you have any questions or concerns. Best regard, Thomas Olson, Chief of Police. I have nothing but respect for him. I do think he should require a little more investigation, but he treated me with respect, and thank you. You guys can be proud of this guy as your new Chief of Police. So far, but as you know, I'll be watching. Okay, so, my response to that little ditty, are you ready? You know you're listening to an hour follow-up, right? Okay. Oh my goodness, Crystal, this one goes on and on, so, my response is long. Can you imagine? Thank you for your reply. I have had a commercial church location in Hadlock for the last year. I stayed the night in my car there 3 nights in a row and spent the day out at my church cleaning it out. I was not there for a week and did not move. That is absolutely a falsehood, and I would like to know who reported me, if possible. Otherwise, I can do a Freedom of Information request. I have spent my days every day working to move out of my church, of which I have rented until the end of this month, and as said, have been out there for about a year. So whoever called maliciously lied about me being there for a week and not moving. So I'm under the understanding it's okay if I sleep in my car down there as long as I'm not there 24 hours a day. I would hope that the police would check the cameras at the Maritime Center and prove what a citizen says about me before giving me a warning to take my home. I pick up garbage downtown. I'm very kind to people. I help people and businesses. I support the businesses and have since I moved here in 2012. Someone viciously lied about me being there every day, all the time. Thank you for letting me know that. As for the officer not knowing my car is registered here, I used to work at blah, blah cafe. I know some of the officers. I did security at a concert at Fort Worden, and I know other officers. I do know quite a few of them and have been moved before from officers, such as when Key City Theater complained, even though that parking lot was 24 hours. So thank you for letting me know my rights. It sounds to me like someone was being malicious. However, it does not say down at the Maritime Center that people cannot park there 24 hours. I am a citizen here too. So if I call you guys and complain about vehicles down there, will you put a ticket on them too, or is this just for me? I feel discriminated against and lied about. So if you see a car downtown parked for more than 24 hours, even one of the Maritime Center vans, call 911 because it's some sort of emergency. Obviously, I'm kidding. Okay, there was definitely no signs that the vehicle had not been moved in a while. Yes, there are signs I live in my vehicle. The Port Townsend police know that. I have done lots of videos trying to help Michael Allman get his dog back. It is well known that I live in a vehicle. However, it is a flat-out lie to say there were signs that the vehicle had not been moved, and I had done several healings at people's homes the night before and spent the whole day cleaning out my church and working in my storage. So people can just make stuff up about me and threaten to take my home? I do better understand my rights now. Thank you very much. It sounds like the police officer lied and said there was signs the car had not been moved, which there wasn't. My windows were recently washed. I just got gas and my car was clean. There was no signs that my car had not been moved, and no bird poop. Because I washed it off. You know how it is downtown Port Townsend. You can barely eat a piece of pizza without getting poop on it. Okay. And that's happened to me. Well, actually, no, but it's happened to people that I've been with. Okay, I don't park down. Okay, right. The officer lied and the citizen lied. I thank you for the information. I will keep a lookout for malicious citizens that are going to lie about me. And if the police warned me again, I guess we will talk about it again from there. And if I'm towed, I guess we'll work it out from there. It sounds like I was completely in my lawful right and that the officer took the word of a citizen and did not get any proof at all in any way. I feel I have been discriminated against, and with that sign that I have been embarrassed and defamed. I'm not a problem around here. I've had a real estate company here since 2012, which I've now put my license on inactive. I have a church and nonprofit corporation. I'm a healer, an investigative blogger. I have a post office, a passport, a bank account, and all those lovely things that people that live in homes have. Yeah, but it's nuts. I would hope that if a citizen calls the police again and complains about me or any other homeless person, that you check the cameras or for some sort of evidence and don't just automatically believe the homeless person is the bad guy and the citizen is the good guy. I'm a citizen too. Because yes, I stayed there at night, but I had not shown any signs that I didn't leave. That's simply false. Ish manure, ish baloney, ish balagamol, balikla. Okay. Any signs that I didn't leave, that's false. Okay, please tell me who complained about me, or if you'd rather, I do a Freedom of Information request, as I am an investigative blogger as well, and have had a huge court case with free speech rights on such matters. And I intend to report on this to protect the rights of the homeless. Thank you for your time. I stayed away, see. Also, if there's some way I can let people know when I arrive down there and when I leave that I could prove the 24-hour thing. I mean, they have a camera on me. Come on. As I said that particular night, I'd done healing and spiritual counseling in people's homes. I did not even go downtown till late, so the citizen flat out lied about me maliciously. Thank you again for the information. Also, as I stated before, the Maritime Center has 2 vans, and they're parked down there 24 hours a day every single day. I didn't mention the boat, but I took videos of that earlier. I just want to know, I just want equality for the homeless is my goal. Just treated like people that live in homes. If they're doing something that's bothering people or that's illegal, okay. But give them the same rights and treatment as people who live in homes. That's the whole goal. Okay, so they are okay to do that because it's their business. Those are the Maritime Center vans. Because I work out of my car, I work online. So my business is out of there as well. Is it because it's port property? I just wonder why the discrimination and why the Maritime Center can have vans there 24 hours a day, but I can't. And it's because they don't like the look of me because I live in a car? I take it as discrimination and prejudice. The code that you recited to me doesn't seem to apply to the Maritime Center vans, and I guess that's because they use the vans for their business. I just want to understand what's the difference between them and me because it's their business, but they don't own the street, right? And there are no signs saying how parking should be down there. Anyway, thanks again for the information. One more thing I feel a little bit off about is I find it disconcerting that any citizen, whether it's a tourist or anyone just walking by, can judge me and call the police, and that the police will threaten to take my home. Especially as you stated, knowing I live in my car. They threaten to take my home and leave me on the street with nothing. This is a cruel thing to do to people, and especially based on the word of a citizen, not even a business owner. I feel that this is cruel and unlawful. This means that anybody that doesn't like me in any way can just call you guys and you will take their word over the facts or over my word. And at that exact time, I had been at Sirens for over an hour eating lunch. I doubt they do that to other people who park down there at the Swan Hotel and then walk around the town the next day. This is a discrimination, and I do hope to know which citizen called, and do hope that the police won't just take some citizen's word and take my home or any homeless person's home. Have a beautiful spring and summer, Reverend Crystal Cox. Okay, and then he said to that, Ms. Cox, I'm sorry that you feel the way that you do, and I do not think I can say anything to change your mind. I will only say that our goal was merely to educate the owner of the vehicle. We had no idea it was you. So the police have no idea who the vehicle is they're ticketing. If I was an investigator and I got a call that there was a vehicle parked for too long, I'd been there a week and it's homeless people, the first thing I would do, and I've seen officers do many times, like in Montana when I'd call people that were parking in the wrong spot or whatever, like they're camped outside my house and some weird thing. The first thing they do is run the plate. Then they know if I'm got an arrest warrant, if I'm some sort of a homicidal maniac that they know about, so I don't really buy into that, but respectfully, I respect this guy. He seems like a good guy. Okay, our goal was to educate the owner. We had no idea it was you. To educate the owner of the 24-hour parking ordinance. Okay, but that's not what they really were doing, guys. Okay, they do this every year. Okay, I've been out here for a while. It's certain times of the year they put the orange stickers on the car to intimidate the homeless, so that they'll stay away from that area for whatever. And I can understand it. Wooden boat, they had done it before that. I wasn't planning on being anywhere near down here. I love wooden boat. I know that they cordon this all off, all right? But so giving people a warning ahead of an event, okay. But, we're people. If you just put a sticker on the car and said, oh my gosh, we got the festival this week. Can you make sure and not be here the next day? But no, they think they have to be aggressive with us because we live in a car. You get out of here. We're going to do bad things. But they didn't follow the law and they don't have a right to do that. Yeah. We were not saying you were there for 24 hours or a week. No, but you harassed me because you believed that, and there were signs that I'd been there. Okay, we only knew what the caller told the E911 dispatcher and what the dispatcher provided to the responding officer. Have a wonderful day, Thomas Olson, Chief of Police. And so I'm going to do Freedom of Information and try to get that and see who complained about me. And my goal is for people to treat the homeless equally, okay? That's the whole deal. I mean, if I disgust them and it's all ooey, so what? I still exist whether I disgust you or not. So I thought E911 dispatcher was 911, and so I'll have to research that. So I'd said to him, I said, thank you so much for the information. I'm also glad to know it was 911 because that's federal and I can obtain the records more easily. Thanks for your help. Appreciate the way that you have handled this. Many blessings. And then he said, well, he didn't say that it was 911. He said that it was dispatched to our officer by E911 dispatcher. And I thought that means emergency 911. So I thought they're the same thing, but he's kind of sounds like it's not. So I'm going to look all that up. It may very well have come in on the non-emergency phone line. Okay, but he'd already said the 911. Anyway, so I'll be requesting those Freedom of Information. And then, as you know, I like to send more stuff, so I probably said, oh no, that I just said thank you or whatever. Anyway, so many blessings to who's ever watching this. I love you all so much. And I love Fort Townsend, okay? And so I'd love to rent a place. Like, you know, I mean, I used to have a home, right? I used to, you know, my spiritual awakening has stripped me of everything. And it's actually good right now. It was hard, you know, the winters that I felt like I'd freeze to death or whatever. But, you know, I mean, I owned, you know, I had a ranch, 200-acre ranch in Montana with my partner. I had a, you know, 9,000 square foot house on 40 acres. You know, and I started fighting corruption and fighting for victims. And I lost everything and everyone. And I'd do it again. Because once you know God, Spirit, Great Spirit, once you have the visions and the clarity and you know life and you know death and you know things so beyond anything of this earth, none of this earthly stuff matters anymore. My real estate company, my bakery, my ranches, all of my, you know, my four-wheelers and my trucks and all my things, they didn't matter. Once I saw what Spirit showed me and went on my mission and to do my spiritual work in this world, nothing could have changed it. And it's been hard. But you know what? It's the truth. And it's what I know. And it's what Spirit has showed me. And Spirit led me to Port Townsend. I've been called here. I was called here in 2012. Many people are. Look up the Illumination Prophecy. That's a good one. If you don't know or want to know, reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com. I love you all. I love you all so much. And thank you for listening. God bless you. God bless you. Bye for now.